On 2nd May 2007, Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer, the two best tennis players in the world, played a special exhibition match that took place in Mallorca. That match was called the Battle of Surfaces, and it was a tribute to the rivalry of two of the greatest in the history of tennis. Stay with us till the end as we relive that historical day again. First up, the surface they played on was split into two different parts. What made this match so unique was the surface on which they both played. The court was split into two parts. One side of the net was grass, while the other side of the net was clay. The two different courts were a reference to their rivalry, in which the Swiss dominated on the grass, while the Spaniard dominated on clay. It was held in Palma de Mallorca, the capital city of Nadal's home island. Roger Federer was sitting at the #1 spot in men's tennis rankings when the event was held. The 21-time Grand Slam champion, Rafael Nadal, was world #2 at the time. The estimated cost of the court was a staggering $1.63 million estimated dollars. It took over 19 grueling days to put together that court. The players even had to switch footwear in between the breaks. Now, for Rafael Nadal, the king of clay courts. Heading into the match, the 21-year-old Rafael Nadal was the second best tennis player in the world, just after his first title win at Roland Garros at 19 years of age. Until that day, Nadal hadn't lost a single match on clay since 8th April 2005, when he lost his match against Russian Igor Andreev in Valencia. Nadal was on a 72-match winning run heading into that match, which helped him to claim 12 titles on that surface. Those 12 titles also included 2 at Roland Garros. Nadal became Federer's nightmare. He stopped Federer twice at Roland Garros in 2005 and 2006. Nadal also managed to beat him up to 4 times in 2006. That was the year when Federer was only beaten by 2 players. One was Nadal, and the other was Frenchman Jo-Wilfried Tsonga. Let's look at how Nadal upped his game on other surfaces. Nadal was a different beast when he was playing on clay, and he wasn't to be challenged on that surface. At the same time, he was also trying to improve his game on other surfaces as well. He managed to win 2 Master Series tournaments on a hard surface in 2005 in Madrid and Toronto. He also started to play well where no one expected him to, on grass. It seemed like his playing style was meant for clay. In fact, Nadal reached the final in 2006 at Wimbledon. In that game, Federer took his revenge from the Roland Garros final. In 2007, Nadal made it to the quarterfinals of the Australian Open, where he was beaten by Fernando Gonzalez. Rafael lifted trophies in Monte Carlo, Indian Wells, and Barcelona. Not to mention, Roger Federer was the grass court magician. The Swiss genius was 25 at the time and was the best player in tennis. Federer had won 10 Grand Slams since 2003. 2006 was his best year. He claimed 12 titles that year, including 3 Grand Slams, 4 Masters 1000 Series, and the Masters Cup. Federer had a record of 92 wins and just 5 losses. 4 of those 5 came against his only serious rival of the time, Rafael Nadal. The Spanish beast was the only reason why Federer didn't win a single Roland Garros yet. Federer lost against him in the semifinal of 2005 and in the final of 2006. Federer kicked off 2007 by winning the Australian Open without dropping a set, defeating Fernando Gonzalez in the final. He then had a peculiar Miami tour and Indian Wells, where he lost twice against one player, the Argentine Guillermo Canas. Canas was making a comeback to the tour after being suspended for using a prohibited substance. The Swiss was unbeaten on the grass in the last 5 years and was on a 48-match winning streak on this surface. Coming up, the facts of that battle. This special match was meant to determine which one of those players would thrive on a mixed surface that would even the chances: Federer, the grass court magician, or Nadal, the king of clay courts. Prior to that matchup, the Basel-born champion said it would be fun to find out how it is to play on a court with mixed surfaces. It'll also be interesting to see who chooses the better tactic for this type of surface. He said that the result doesn't matter, he just wants to have some fun. 6,800 lucky spectators were able to witness that game live, and the stands were completely packed. According to some reports, just over 200 million tennis fans were glued to their TV screens when Nadal and Federer, 2 of the world's best, walked onto Palma Arena on match day. There was a lot of excitement to see the best clay court player in the world competing with the best grass court player on this never-before-seen court. The match almost didn't happen though. Some reports say that the organizers of the match had to lay a brand new surface on the court on the grass side the night before the match because the original turf had been damaged by worms. Now, did the split court actually even the chances? Changeovers for that match were extended to 2 minutes instead of the normal 90 seconds. It was to give both athletes enough time to change their footwear for each surface. Now the main question is, did the split court actually even the chances? The court clearly gave an advantage to the player standing on the red side. He had more time to adjust, especially while returning, as the balls were bouncing higher. It was so hard to defend on the green side of the court. Maybe it did help Rafa Nadal after all, as he won the exhibition match in front of his home crowd. Both players fought for almost 2 hours before we had a winner. Let's learn about the match and its reception. The exhibition was appreciated by the public, even though it was clear that both champions played in a more relaxed way than they normally do on a real tour. Nadal said that he thought this match would be a total disaster because it would have been difficult for him to adapt to the court. He still had a good time, and that's the important thing. He also said that both of them would like to repeat this kind of experience because it allowed them to play for points without much tension, and they were relaxed throughout the match. On the other hand, Federer said the court was excellent, especially the clay part. It was a difficult challenge for him, but still an enjoyable experience. Although it looked like both of them enjoyed the match and said that they would want to do something like this again, the Battle of Surfaces would be the only match ever played on such an amazing court. Up next, Federer puts an end to Nadal's 81-match winning streak on clay. A few weeks after this match, it was the final of the Hamburg Open. The Swiss Superman ended Rafa's 81-match winning run on a clay court by beating him for the first time ever on clay. Nadal still remained the best at Roland Garros, defeating Federer again in the final. In the 2007 Wimbledon final, Nadal dragged Federer into a fifth set, but Federer eventually prevailed. Nadal finally won Wimbledon for the first time in 2008, winning a classic match against his arch-rival. He claimed a second title at the All-England Club in 2010. Federer won Roland Garros once in 2009 by beating the first man to beat Nadal in the tournament, Robert Soldering. Federer was never able to beat Nadal in his favorite tournament. Following up, their rivalry was the best in tennis. Nadal and Federer have faced each other 40 times to date, and the Spaniard is leading 24-16. On clay, Nadal has a 14-2 record against the Swiss, whereas Federer has a 3-1 lead on grass. Their rivalry is considered to be the greatest rivalry in sports history. Nadal versus Federer is to tennis what Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier is to boxing. Usain Bolt versus Tyson Gay is to sprinting. When these two played against each other, they only made each other better. They're the only players in history to have finished number 1 and number 2 in tennis rankings for 6 consecutive years. Their rivalry isn't just about the numbers. It's about the ability of both of these to not yield an inch in any battle. Finally, tennis fans recalled the iconic Battle of Surfaces on its 15th anniversary. The match took place on the 2nd May 2007, and on the 2nd May 2022, fans recalled this iconic battle on its 15th anniversary. They shared their thoughts about the match on social media. Some even said that they're still in awe of the fact that this match happened. One said that it was the best tennis court idea ever. That's a wrap for this video. What's your favorite thing about Federer and Nadal's rivalry? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.